Hey gang, Chris here. This is the next video in my series that I'm doing on SpAIceRocks, the Match 3 game on Unity 6 that I created almost completely with artificial intelligence. In the series, I'm covering a bunch of stuff, but today I'm covering my art pipeline. So how I go from images on Midjourney through some Python scripting and into a Unity making sprites. So the first thing I'll mention is that you can download the whole thing if you want to build it yourself. It's again, you got to have Unity 6, but you can build and run the whole thing. You also need Python for this workflow. But here's the path. Okay, so what I'm showing you right now, high level, is all the images that I was creating while working on assets for my 2D game. This is all 2D. 3D games, it's getting better since I built this thing back in October. But I wanted to do 2D because I'm still new to Unity and I wanted to see what I can do as a newbie. So you see here, I have planets, I have sprites. Here's some hands I was making for pop-ups, all the backgrounds, anything, all the different character sprites that I used, a bunch of different aspect ratios, this kind of stuff. I did try to do animations. That was the only weak point. I really couldn't get the animations to work. But all the bombs, all the basically everything that you see right here in the game, whether it's all the minerals, the tools, the planets, or as I said, the characters, which you only see one right now, all that was done effectively with actually Midjourney. That's all it was. So before I show you that, I'll just kind of give credit. The Python script that I'll show you in just a minute is using Pillow. And it actually has a library in it written by Daniel Gaddis called Remove Background. So I make the images in Midjourney, download them, and then run this Python script that removes all the backgrounds. It's really sweet. And so just a big shout out to Daniel. You can check his work out at Daniel Gaddis here on GitHub. And here's the code. So I'm doing graphics, but you guys need to know the code too. So check this out. In 2 prompts to Claude, which is what I'm using over here on the side. You can go to Claude AI if you want to, but I happen to be plugged in with VS Code. I gave it this prompt. Generate a Python script that will remove a white background from my images and leave them transparent. I will use them for my sprites. So I told it what I wanted and also what I was trying to make so it could understand what to build. It immediately generated this script. Now the first one only focused on 255, 255, 255, the white color. But I realized that was not what I wanted. It was very limiting, and it was causing some nasty edges. So I didn't find the other script, the other prompt, but it's very similar. And I just said, yeah, just make it general, just remove the background. And it did a great job. And so it does bring in the rembg library here. And I'm going to show you a little demo down here on how to run it in just a second. Okay, so back over to Midjourney. In this tab, I've actually filtered in. I'm just going to show you guys one particular workflow example. I was looking at gems and stones and minerals and all sorts of prompts. And the one I'm going to demo for you today is an image that's coming from this block of tests that I did in Midjourney. So at the top, in fact, the particular one I'm going to do for you guys is this one here, okay? So the prompt is a sprite sheet 4 chunks of colored obsidian red glowing from the inside, rotation, white background line art. And so that helped to define the style. This, for me, the whole white background line art is a big deal as I tried to capture the right kind of style for everything in the game. And I got a little 3D with some things. So that's a little inconsistent. But when you look at like the characters, for example, that's the same kind of thing. Full color, white background, line art. And that's how my characters came out. Here's one of my favorites right there. She's later in the game. So I was trying to look for a certain consistent look and feel in the backgrounds, consistent look and feel on the assets, etc. For what it's worth, character consistency is super hard. So I don't have a lot of character consistency in my game. I just got different sprites that show up when you go to different planets. That's it. But if you're looking to do character consistency, I think they've made progress, but it continues to be really difficult for what that's worth. But in this case, it's a match 3 game. I don't necessarily need character consistency as long as I'm not taking my character on a journey. Okay, so I'm going to grab this little image here. I've already generated it. I just download it. You know, hit the little download button. And that's sitting over here in my designs and pipeline directory. If you look in the SpAIceRocks, GitHub, you'll see the designs and pipeline images. This is my original. So I download those. I just save them. And here's the one I'm going to do. It's the little 4 chunks of red obsidian. And which I'm not really sure there's red obsidian, but the point is I really like that look of obsidian that I had in black, and I just decided to try putting it in different colors. In fact, I'll show you that real quick. So initially, I think I probably started out with black or close to it. And then anything that's got colored obsidian is going to show up in this particular filter. You see blue, and all I'll do is change the color to blue. I certainly have black in here somewhere. It's really nice. I think it was just obsidian. And then I did rainbow, just gorgeous, different, really gorgeous rocks. And I wanted this sort of glow from the inside to make it look like it had some power inside of it, which fits with the idea that you're mining it because you might want to sell it for a lot of money. Okay, anyhow, so with that in mind, what I've done is I've moved my copy of the obsidian blocks into my input folder. And then I'm going to go to the output folder and see there's all the files. And looks like I processed that one a while back. Oh, let's do it again anyway. Okay, so what you do is you come into the Python script here, and you say Python. You have to install Python .remove sprite background. And then I knew that I would need some different classes and subclasses, so it'll have category, subcategory, subcategory. And that's mainly because I was thinking about ships, and I eventually want to have more ships in here, so I have different subclasses of ships, things like that. Maybe subclasses of gems. But in this case, I just want it to be minerals. And it so happens because I've done a bunch of minerals, 21 is the next number in my set of mineral files that I haven't generated yet. So I've got 20. Oh, there's 21. So let's do 22. 22. I run it like that. It just processes. Honestly, it doesn't take really long. And then when it's done, it says image is done. And there it is. And there's my processed backgrounds. All gone. Nice and clean. But to be clear, it's not always nice and clean. And that has to be okay. You have to be willing to try things. And I'll show you an example. The library's not great, although it is pretty darn dynamite. Here's got a little noise. You may care about that. Here it sort of, had some images that didn't quite filter out because it's not just doing the flat pixel of removal of white pixels. It's actually doing something more intelligent than that. I swear it has machine learning in there, but I couldn't go back and find it. But here's just different examples of when it was good and when it was bad. You see here that a few rocks great, other few rocks not so great. I don't really care so much. There's some of my planets, and those had different styles. But here these had shadows in the image. I don't want shadows, so I just didn't deal with those. And I'd go into the prompts and say, no shadows, and that would help a lot. Anyhow, so this is an example. Now I'm going to take this one. I'm going to pull this into my library so you can see what that looks like. So in my sprites, my minerals folder, I got a few sprite sheets here already. I'm going to bring this one in. Minerals, bang. Look there. It's already got it. And I'll tell you something. This is just Unity. Unity being awesome. It automatically has identified the sprites in this quote-unquote atlas or this sprite sheet. It's not always perfect, but honestly, 8 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, it crushes it. So I've already got 4 handy sprites that I can refer to right there because it just automatically brought that in. Now, as again, a bit of a newbie to Unity, I was really delighted with that. So that was super cool. And anyhow, I'll show you some of the others. This right here is a sprite sheet or an atlas here. And you can see it actually automatically pulled all these in as well. Those are right out of the Midjourney after I processed them with that script. So now that I have them, I use them in the game. I'll show you how that works. So if I go to the board class, up here on the right, these are my different element classes here. And element 3, it starts to get interesting. There's Mineral Atlas 3. It's the black one that you see down here. Let's go back to the board again. And they all have different properties, which is why they're in a little array here. Mineral Atlas 4 is the green one, which is one of my favorites. And so I just basically wire them in, and they're all prefabs. That's all they are, is just prefabs. And there's the others. It keeps going on until I got them all. I've got up to, I think I've got 10 elements here. The basic rock, all the way up to fancy tools and minerals that you can purchase when you get on different planets. So that's kind of it. Now, the same process is what was used for the character sprites. And also, as I mentioned earlier, the tools here. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I'm going to show tonight. But if you have any questions or any clarifications or something you want to share about your own 2D pipeline work with Midjourney or another AI or even 3D, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks.